Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Happy that you've made it to Friday. It's a special day. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I was expecting lows around 35. Are we near 35 where you live? Let's take a look. Well, I see 38 in Knoxville, and I see 35 in Oak Ridge. So there's about a 3-degree spread between Anderson County right now and McGee-Tyson. It's 33 in Rockwood, but it's 40 in Crossville. Well, that's not very consistent. No, it's just the way weather works, right? We've got a front that's approaching, very weak one, that will change our wind direction from southwest to northeast today, just about 3 to 8 miles per hour. But it is 36. Good morning to you in Hamlin County, Morristown. A shout out to Newport. You're freezing this morning, and it's below freezing in Jacksboro, Campbell County. You're at 30. So it depends on where you are, and it just makes like it's like throwing darts. Like, what's the low going to be? Well, it's not one size fits all, because if you're in Jamestown, you're waking up to 44 degrees. It's a big difference. 44 versus 38 in Knoxville. Fentress County is perhaps the warm spot on the map. Now, we have some clouds that are rolling in that may allow the temperatures to rise a bit. And I do expect a mostly sunny day. So how can you be mostly sunny with all these clouds? Because they're not going to be here for very long. Once the sun comes up, they're going to start to fade away. And then we may find some scattered clouds later in the afternoon into the evening. But by and large, if you take the day as a whole, I suspect a high temperature now, not only in the upper 50s, but we could make it into the low 60s. Oh, now you're talking my language. I'm talking about, maybe some of you are thinking, if you're on Team Spring, this is a gift. It's a gift that's being given. It's the gift that keeps on giving, as we'll make a run towards 61 degrees now for Knoxville. Visibility, by the way, not a problem. Maybe a touch of fog in parts of Claiborne, Hancock County, maybe Union County, or even in the hills of Granger County. That's what that gray area suggests. But today is a special day. All forecasters alike just love this day. This day is one of those days where we could just hand over the clicker. Just hand it over to the Groundhog. He can make all the forecasts today. I could sit back in the lazy boy and just let him make his prognostication. He will make that prognostication because Phil, this is not the Groundhog Day where every day is the same. That's the movie. That's the movie. But Phil is actually going to come out of the burrow that's known as Gobbler's Knob, has history going back to the 1800s with the German communities in Pennsylvania. And if they used to look at badgers, and groundhogs, they did it all. So they were just yearning for spring. It's fair to say that they were Team Spring advocates because they couldn't wait for spring to occur. They were trying to figure out when that would be. And if he sees his shadow, according to folklore, that's 6 more weeks of winter. But if he doesn't see his shadow, that could mean, maybe, an early spring. Well, that for some of you are like, that'd be great. Oh, well, when's he going to make that prediction? A little bit later this morning, probably closer to 8 o'clock. Of course, it gets national coverage. But Groundhog Day, he does see his shadow more often than not, and he is so furry and cute. His little nose is twitching there. His he's blinking his eyelash or his eyeballs there. Anyway, he's finding cute. But if he sees his shadow for 6 more weeks of winter, are you excited about that? I still think we've got a lot of winter left. Now, I'm watching what's on the maps, but I'm also looking at what you have to say. If you're on YouTube, I see Steve Stone says, how great Friday morning. He's got his happy face and his sunglass emoji, too. I love that, Steve. Dennis Hatcher says, good morning from Dandridge. 36 degrees at my home this morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on YouTube. And back over to Facebook, if you've got a comment, as we're looking at Groundhog, he's furry. He's so furry. Anyway, back over here. Wanda says, what makes snow thunder? Now, Wanda, you're a premium member. I've posted a whole animation about how that comes about. I may have to repost it for your benefit, but I'll keep an eye out for that. Lana Johnson says, good morning. Let the masses keep the groundhog. We will keep you. She said, beautiful. You're very sweet, Lana. Very sweet. I do think we've got a lot of winter left, and I'll talk about that in detail. I know that seems like I'm going against the grain. You know, I have a cat. Cat likes to be stroked, but if you pet the cat the other way, it's not good, right? So right now, I'm like fingernails on the chalkboard for Team Spring, because even though I got warm days in the future, I still see a lot of winter left. Most of winter is still ahead of us as we head into further parts of February. That have not changed. I am still consistent on that note. I see a note from Charlie Hicks. Hello, Charlie. He says, good. Looks like a beautiful day upcoming week. And Fred says, good morning, David. No frost in the windshield. That's a good sign. With temperatures anywhere from 30 to 44. It's all over the map, the temperatures right now. But let me get back to it. It's now 6:44. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. The ultimate Doppler radar is dry. Well, wait a minute. I thought you said there's a front coming through. There is. It's just what we love to call in weather moisture starved. It's lacking moisture. There's just nothing to kickstart any showers of any significance. Now, we're getting some clouds. We've already looked at the clouds. That's the byproduct that this front's producing. It's just producing some clouds. Not enough to produce showers. Okay, anyway, this is the ultimate doppler radar, dry, brought to you by, presented by Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair. If you have need for an oil change, maybe you need a whole new set of tires, maybe you need an alignment, Matlock is the place to go. East Tennessee's #1 tire service and auto repair since 1953. They've been doing this for over 70 years, a family-owned business. You gotta love it. Knoxville, they got a location in Maryville. They have a location in Lenore City. And these are all wonderful locations, convenient for your travel plans. Maybe you want to make an appointment. You can simply go to madlocktireservice.com. In fact, I have, as I highlight Athens and Hardin Valley, I have at the top of this Facebook post their link. So you can just click on that, make your appointment, and make your wait time minimal. So it'd be very cool if you just sign up for Matlock, and tell them, please tell them that Captain Accurate sent you. By the way, the radar is showing pretty quiet weather not only here, but all across the state. Looks pretty quiet. Maybe, what about Puxatawny, Pennsylvania? Well, let's see here. Yeah, it looks dry there too. But I do see some snow showers in southeast New York State. And so maybe there's some clouds there. Maybe he won't see his shadow. But we'll see what he says. We'll see. We'll let Phil make that determination. But it is raining across the Jersey Shore, it looks like, and maybe more snow across areas in Quebec and up toward Canada, maybe toward Newfoundland. But there's still a very powerful system that hit California that's going to slide from Denver, El Paso perhaps, and Arizona. Eventually, it's going to go from Destin to Orlando. So this little system that comes in Sunday, Monday will be so far south that all we're going to get are high clouds. It's like weird. But it'll be raining hard in places like Atlanta, even down toward Orlando. So there will be some issues in the early part of next week that system you see on the left will slide down toward the Sunshine State. By the way, I want to bring you up to speed on the drought monitor. If I believe we can zoom in, there's been some improvement from our friends at NOAA. They have removed some of the orange color. Now, yesterday, we've talked about the drought had disappeared from Knox County last Thursday, but the level 3 orange severe drought has disappeared across the plateau. It's moved down a level to level 2, which is a moderate drought. So if we zoom in a little bit tighter, no drought concerns right now in Knox County. Isn't that nice? But if you're north of Oak Ridge, it turns abnormally dry. If you're in Oneida, it's abnormally dry. That's what we call level 1. Abnormally dry conditions. But there's still some areas in our viewing area. I'm talking northern Cumberland County. So if you're in Crossville, you're in Fairfield Glade, you're under a moderate drought. Things have improved in some cases, maybe not as bad as before, but you still could use some rain. So could Clark Range, so could Sunbright, so could Wartburg, and so on. Dearmont is included in that light brown area. So this came out yesterday morning, but I did want to pass along to you that the dryness is improving. Slowly but surely, but we're not dealing with any rain this week, so maybe we're just going to hold steady. But there's going to be some, obviously, some rain issues. They're improving, true, in parts of Mississippi. They were much more red last week, but they also picked up considerable amounts of rain over the last 7 days or so. And you can see how the coloring across parts of New Mexico and also maybe Iowa still dealing with some moderate or if not extreme drought. Knoxville rainfall, we picked up over almost 6¼ inches of rain and melted snow on January. And in February, we typically see about 4.81. That's just the totals for the averages. In fact, as we go back to temperatures, I got some notes to share with you because you know I'm a note taker. Yesterday's high was 55. I expected 54. We started the day at 28. Many of you had some very heavy frost during the course of yesterday morning. Clearly, with these numbers, you're probably not dealing with any serious frost at all, if at all. But by the way, the record low this morning, 3 from 1917. We're not that cold. And the record high today, 75 from 2016. So we'll get to the sunrise and sunset time here in just a moment. But I want to show you we're currently 34. Morristown, it's 34 in Madisonville, and Wartburg checking in at 39 degrees. So Wartburg and Crossville pretty close to 40 at this hour. Wind speeds aren't moving much. Some clouds are moving overhead, but there will be light today. And the wind chill, if there is any wind chill, feels like it's in the mid-30s, if not upper 30s, across some of the communities. Now, 42 is our temperature right now in Nashville. If you're hopping on the interstate, maybe driving west, it's a little warmer there. And if you head back toward the east, Charlotte's at 42. Atlanta is at 44 this morning with the current temperature. These clouds, all associated with a weak front, just beginning to drape across the area, but like the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday we had lots of sunshine, and then those high clouds came in, second half of the day. This is just the opposite. We got the clouds this morning, and they're going to work their way out of the picture, and it'll get brighter, I think, for the second half of the day. And then maybe some residual clouds form during the early part of this evening. Let me show you the sunrise sunset time. 7:36 is when it comes up this morning. We'll go to bed at 6:04. So it's now 6:50. So we have a little more than a half hour to go before that sun comes up. And it should be nice. Some high clouds surely. Makes for some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Now, as far as the bus stop forecast, I did modify. I moved up my high temperature expectation by 2 degrees. You said it'd be 59 today. Yeah, I know. I changed it to 61 simply because I think we'll get enough sunshine as the day wears on. And so for the pickup, 2 o'clock, around 59, and many of us will hit about 61 in Knox County. Now, could we hit 62? Oak Ridge? Absolutely. What about 63? Athens, Tellico Plains, it's on the table. I have Newport at 60, but only 54 for Middlesboro. So there's a little bit cooler air because the front's going to be passing them a little bit sooner. Temperature should be in the mid-50s for Middlesboro and Jonesville, even Greenville about 54, but should be around 60 for Crossville, Fairfield, Glade, and Lake Tansy. Headlines, mostly sunny today, sunshiny skies on Saturday, and because of this little, what I like to call a southern storm system, southern slider sounds better like baseball, but anyway, it looks like high clouds will be the dominant feature on Sunday with some hazy sunshine. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. Facebook, Danny Feedback says, hope you have a wonderful day Friday. Go Vols. Hashtag Go Big Orange. By the way, is it me? Is it big game? Big game in Lexington. It's the Vols taking on Kentucky. Ooh, that's a big game for the guys, for the men. And then Lady Vols are hosting Missouri. So there's a lot of basketball. Check that out. I know we're having football withdrawal. Super Bowl's not until next Sunday, but at least this Sunday or this week we can watch some football, some basketball. Thinking basketball now. Ed says good morning. Pre-spring, loving the warm temps. Pete says good yard cleaning weather. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe a time to finish up any kind of Christmas decorations. Somebody wrote on a comment, so they were putting that all finally put away. So there are opportunities with this dry weather to take advantage of this weekend. Now, current temperatures. We're going to talk about snow potential and also some cold air, and it's just really hard. It's hard to be a weather guy trying to sound the alarm that it's going to get cold when you see numbers like these. I mean, it's 25 in Caribou. Remember, they were negative 11 2 days ago in Caribou. It's 34 in Bismarck. Where is this cold air? I don't see it, Aldrich. Well, it's up in Canada, and it's further up toward the Arctic. That's what's going to eventually come back down. But right now, it's 58 in Dallas at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. Some people are like, well, I'll only believe it when the models see it. Okay, well, I can give you some evidence, but sometimes you just have to take my word for it. We're not done with winter, not by any stretch. Winter will come back. Who is hungry for more snow? I've shown you this before. Winter will start, I think, a main course of it later this month. And I still think that probably between Valentine's Day and President's Day, we may have to shovel some snow. It's possible. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. I know it's only the second. That's a long time away. That's like 12 days, almost more than that, right? But we have to wait till that time in some cases. Chunks of this cold Arctic air will be coming down from Canada, and that's why I think winter is far from done, and it would be foolish, no matter what Puxatawny Phil says, it will be foolish to think it's over, because winter is just on a break. It's on a break! Yes. Popular culture thing. But anyway, it's intermission. This is the time during the movie, if there's an intermission, to go to the kitchen and grab a snack. Because we're in the snack mode until we wait for this return of cold air. You need some evidence. You can see the spin. I love this. You can see from the arrows between Dallas and Memphis, you can see what's going on there. It just spins far south of Memphis, kind of where these arrows converge. And now it's south of Atlanta and heads down toward Florida. That's why I think this is a swing and a miss. If I use my baseball analogy, this southern slider will, in fact, miss us. But there'll be more. There'll be more southern sliders, and the cold air may be in place by then. And then it's too late. It's snow. Oh, yeah. Team Snow will have its revenge, I think. But you can see by the 6th, it's maybe cold and blue, cold enough for snow aloft. But notice, once this little warm air comes in, I think it's going to be between the 9th and 10th, that a lot of folks are going to be like, hey, winter's done. But then all of a sudden on a dime, boom, it changes. Where you see purple in Chicago will be single-digit wind chills and highs in the teens and 20s. So, well, at least that's not coming here, or is it? That's the 16th. That's after Valentine's Day. It looks like a little purple shading there in West Virginia and into Southwest Virginia. It's going to be bitter, and there will be opportunities for this cold air. You see in Minneapolis, Winnipeg, Chicago, 17th. Now we're just 2 days before President's Day, Washington's birthday, 17th of February. Very cold in the 18th. and it's only going to lock and reload, and some of you will say, this is for the birds. I wish somebody had told me, because if you spend your whole time looking at the snow, I'm looking at the cold. You're just not going to be too impressed until the models finally catch up. And they're trying to play catch up, because every time they're run, they're trying to find an equilibrium, trying to find a balance that they just can't find. But it does show, look at that. Ooh, yeah. Okay, now it shows. Oh, so now you believe me? See, this is what I say. These numbers mean nothing to me, because until we get the pattern in place and we're within striking distance, that's usually 3 days. Once we're within 3 days, then we can increase our confidence. Our certainty will go up once we're within 3 days. This is just kind of like a fishing expedition, right? Well, maybe we'll see some big snow. Maybe it'll change. Maybe, again, this is not a forecast. It's just model data. And I can see over a foot in pink, and it wouldn't take much for it to come back to a neighborhood near you. So we'll be keeping an eye on this in the days to come. It is 6:56. Right now, 38 degrees is our current temperature. No wind to speak of, and the relative humidity at 76%. We can anticipate a high now in the low 60s today. So like I said, it's a gift for Team Spring as you get a day like today, a pretty sweet day, because it's Friday, right? It's Groundhog Day. It's Friday. Everybody should be, hopefully, in a good mood as best that you can. Now, normal high is 50, so this would put us 11 degrees above normal. Nobody's complaining. But if we're 11 degrees below normal, then the complaints come in. So it's still 11 degrees. See what I mean? It's you go to the tide, you go to the beach in the low tide, and then in the afternoon it's high tide, and people pull their hair out. Why is the water doing what it's doing? It's because that's how weather works. It's how the oceans work, and the water vapor up in the sky acts just like the ocean waves in the big picture. By the way, precipitation changed. A bunch of zeros. No, you mean we just got out of the drought and we're going into a dry pattern? Yep, that's basically it, right? We finally climbed out of the drought in Knox County, but now we're going to have at least 7 dry days. So it's going to be pretty dry, but sunshine will be in ample supply. I do have some weather concerns for some of our friends in Texas. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is their map, which, by the way, I should point out, you can get these maps on the Captain Accurate Weather app. So all you have to do is select SPC Day 1, Day 2. All these maps can be found at your fingertips on my free app. It's very easy to access, but you can see where the hot spots are. And it's important if you're traveling or have loved ones in these areas. I'm talking San Antonio, Abilene may have some scattered severe storms today. Dallas could have some isolated severe storms, as well as areas west of Houston, including Corpus Christi today. No severe weather here. As you can see, we've got some maybe concerns in Houston on Saturday. And then eventually it'll move to Florida. But Houston, Victoria, isolated severe storms Saturday, as you can see here. Nothing going on here in Knoxville. And then heading down towards South Florida Sunday, if you have family down there, from Tampa to Miami, some isolated severe storms may occur in places like Sarasota or perhaps Miami, as I said, or Coral Springs. But meanwhile, back home, we'll have some high clouds as this system passes us to the south. Let me show you what this looks like. There's the front. It brings in a few clouds this morning, but by the time we hit midday, it has pretty much left Knox County. By 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it's passing Chattanooga. By 5 o'clock, it's long gone and it's sun-filled, but there may be a few residual clouds left over for the evening. Once we move into Saturday, I see nothing but wall-to-wall sunshine, and with each progressive run, the rain just spins all around us. So if you're traveling to Atlanta on Sunday, that's lunchtime, it's pretty soggy, and that's why I suspect the high clouds may be pretty thick until this pivot points. Still raining in Atlanta, maybe in Chattanooga, but where does it go? It pretty much stays just south of us. As I've said before, at some point, precipitation has to end. It looks like it's ending right at our doorstep. Don't see the rain on Sunday. It's all further south toward the Chattanooga area, and maybe even into northern Georgia alone. But meanwhile, Monday, we'll just get more sunshine as a result. Here's the future cast for today. How warm can we get, and how soon? By midday, we should be around 52. So wait a minute, we hit a high of 55 yesterday. You mean we could be in the low to mid 50s at lunchtime? Yes, we could. Because look at Oak Ridge, 54 degrees, not bad. Some clouds, sure, maybe some high thin clouds as they pass by, but I think temperatures should reach about 61 for the afternoon today on a Friday. Once we move into tonight, some evening clouds will fade, we'll get some clearing skies, and then it's just sun-filled. A beautiful day. Tomorrow, we'll start off around 31. I suspect we'll hit 57 for the afternoon on Saturday. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures by midday tomorrow about 50 and about 57, as you can see there in Maryville, by 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. So it's a beautiful looking day on Saturday. Hopefully you have a chance to get out and enjoy it because it's free vitamin D for everybody. Sunday, I suspect more high clouds. So for today, it's now 7 o'clock, mostly sunny, turning milder as the winds will be changing direction thanks to the front. Southwest to start, perhaps northeast for you. By the end of the day, 3 to 8 miles per hour. For today, looking for a high of 60, Wartburg, 60, La Follette, 57 for Morristown, Talbot, Russellville, and about 60 for Dandridge, Newport, Jefferson City, 62 for Oak Ridge, Oliver Springs, and Clinton. Today, looking for a high of 66 in Chattanooga, 53 for the Tri-Cities, and 66 for Nashville, Music City. Tonight, we're down to 31. If we have any evening clouds, they will move out pretty quickly. Winds out of the northeast 3 to 8 plus. Could see, again, temperatures in the 20s for some of you in Morristown, Middlesboro tomorrow morning. But most of us will be in the low 30s with a little hint of frost, perhaps, as we head into your Saturday morning. Now, it is looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 61 today, mostly sunny. Wall-to-wall sunshine, pleasant, I think, tomorrow. And once we move into Sunday, that's when the composition of the sky will look a little hazier because of the high clouds. But then we're doubling down on the warmth. We're back up to 61 next Thursday. So if you look at this, I guess objectively, 61 looks like the bookends. We start at 61 today, and we'll go to 61 again on Thursday. But after Thursday, because Thursday is the 8th, once we move into the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, we're going to see some big changes. And they will be abrupt. I'm not going to fool you and say, hey, it's going to be gradual. It'll be abrupt. And then you say, oh, I need to get prepared. I'd say get prepared now. If you need more firewood, do that. If you need to make sure your heating and air conditioning is in good working order, I recommend A1 Fincham. But there's a lot of reasons to get prepared for winter because it's going to come back just like you would never judge a football game, maybe hopefully you wouldn't, by halftime. Because February 2nd, they do this thing called Groundhog Day on February 2 for a reason. It's because we're halfway at the halfway point of winter. We have one half behind us, we'll have one half ahead of us. So you wouldn't judge a football game, hopefully, by halftime. There's another half to be played, so we'll have to wait and see how February finishes out. Well, let me check in again with you. If you have any comments, let me know. Audrey says, bring it. Linda Rice says, good morning, Dave. Have a great weekend. Going to enjoy the warmer days before the next cold hits. Thank you. I'm all about so weather doesn't surprise you. And think about the number of East Tennesseans who are going to be shocked, if not surprised, when it turns cold again. We'll get these string of days in the upper 50s, low 60s, allergies, like tree pollen could come back, all sorts of things start blooming, and everybody's, oh, I thought we were done with this. Well, you weren't paying attention to me. I don't know who you're paying attention to, but if you're not paying attention, this will catch you by surprise. And I don't want that to be the case. I'm trying to do my best to sound the trumpet before the models. You saw the snow I showed you. That wasn't on there this morning, earlier. It's like it goes back and forth. It's still trying to find an answer. But I'm telling you, I'm not waiting for the models to convince me it's going to get cold and snowy. I know it's going to get cold and snowy. You just be prepared for that. Pete says, good morning. To service up the snow dragon, just in case. I love that. And Marilyn Bell says she's lived 2 years in Pearsall, Texas, George Strait's hometown, working on an oil field. Some great folks down there. Thank you for that update. So, again, if you're just new to this platform, we do this on a regular basis each and every weekday. Monday's a takeoff, but I will tell you this. My Mondays are more devoted to my premium service because I do focus on that Sunday nights and Mondays. If you are interested in knowing what I think in terms of the next snow forecast, because the details the devil's in the details. Getting into the weeds on a daily basis is what I do on the Captain Accurate Premium Service. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button at the top of my Facebook post. You're the first to see the snow forecast. It's like getting 2 streams of information on the same Facebook page, and it's only $4.99 for the whole month. And you can cancel after the first month. Do what you feel necessary. But I think a lot of folks, as my premium members can tell you, a lot of them have been with me for over a year. They like what I'm providing in terms of extra coverage. So if you're not getting your needs met or you're getting misled by other sources, please come to sample it out, and then you can cancel at any time. It's for about the price of a cup of coffee for the whole month. $4.99. That averages to 16 cents a day. To me, it's the best weather bargain to be in the know. Be the first to know before it snows. And I also have my winter weather outlook, which some of my premium members have rewatched just this week and said, oh my goodness, I can't believe how accurate you were back before Halloween. So it's interesting. I leave that up there. It's a 15-minute video. It's now online. Check it out at your convenience. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate. So weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.